Have you ever wondered what an Anderson series starring a robot might have been like?
I'll say yes.
Okay, well, I mean, some could argue that in shows like Fireball XL5, Terrorhawks, or maybe even Space Precinct, that the robot characters were perhaps more popular than the human ones.
What? What, slow-mo? I suppose I wasn't a human character, was I? So, okay, I'll let that pass.
I'm talking about, Sergeant Major Zero of the Zeroids being more popular than Einstein in Terrorhawks. Anyway,
yeah.
We're talking about a classic Anderson series that originally intended for its lead character to basically be a robot.
Oh.
That series, and indeed that character, was the original Captain Scarlet.
Really?
Now, to explain this, we will have to go back to Dad and Sylvia's original script for The Mysterons. It follows pretty much the exact same story as the final television version, with some interesting unused ideas, including some interesting notes at the beginning and end that hint that maybe they were thinking that the Mysteron replicas might be more robotic than the flesh and blood duplicates we see on screen.
Right.
In the original script, just after the Mysterons declare war on Earth, we would cut to Cloudbase, where the standard Mysteron threat sequence that we see in all the episodes on television would play out. Where the Mysterons talk about their plans to kill the world president as Mysteron rings pass over the Colonel White and the Angels and Lieutenant Green, who doesn't even get his own credit in the show, and of course Captain Scarlet.
Yeah.
This is how the first draft script of the Mysterons introduces him.
Oh.
We are looking at him through a glass panel, on which is etched a printed circuit in silver and gold. The setup symbolises a mechanical man. He is rigid without a trace of movement. Over the shot is superimposed, starring Captain Scarlet.
Ah.
There you go. So, while this is not conclusive evidence on its own, it seems that Dad and Sylvia were thinking about Scarlet being more machine than man. Now, although none of that idea makes it to the screen, one tiny remnant does survive in the Introducing Captain Scarlet mini-album, which was the first in a series of 5 audio adventures released in the late 1960s, featuring many of the original cast, and obviously was reissued by Big Finish a few years ago.
Yeah.
At the end of the story, Dr. Fawn announces that, with the aid of a specially designed computer, Captain Scarlet can be brought back under our own control. And Colonel White is excited by the possibilities. Well, that idea and much of the dialogue is a reworking of the Colonel's dialogue from the original scripted ending of the Mysterons.
Mm-hmm.
So it was that was to be the note on which the first episode was planned to end, and the closing titles would then play, not over the famous Ron Embleton paintings that we all know and love, but, well, let's look back to the script. End titles. These will comprise of still shots of Captain Scarlet in association with computers, printed circuits, and electrodes, thus conveying the premise that Captain Scarlet is a mechanical man.
Oh.
So, the big question, I guess, then, is how would the series that we know and love have proceeded from there? Would Scarlet have had any emotions or free will? Would he have just been told what to do by Captain Blue? We have no idea, but it is interesting to think about. Now, as much as we all love Captain Scarlet, and the show wasn't the most character-focused Anderson series ever made, it's kind of strange to imagine that Dad and Sylvia were originally thinking along these strange lines for their new leading man.
Yes.
So there you go.
Well, and ultimately, of course, it was to become Dick Spanner. As a mechanical leading man.
You're quite right. And what a different show that was. I mean, can you imagine the mashup of Captain Scarlet and Dick Spanner?
I want to see that.
Dick Scarlet?
Yes, that would work.
Why not? Fascinating. But there you go. It's interesting where ideas evolve from and then how they change over time and things that get left behind, isn't it? It's just...
yeah, absolutely.
I think it would have been less scary, actually, if Scarlet was mechanical in some way. It's kind of
because you lose that human threat.
Yeah, and it's the sort of the non-corporeal, kind of semi-spiritual control and flesh and blood replica that's almost impossible to tell apart from humans.
Yes.
I know
is
it's spookier and more interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they settled where they did. But there you go. It could have been Robot Captain Scarlet.